Today we see what your favorite game is, then we talk to software developer Professor Josh Wu. So let's rip off the cellophane, jump into this game. What's your favorite game?
My favorite video game is Halo.
Madden.
Kingdom Hearts.
Final Fantasy 15.
Call of Duty. FIFA. Saints Row.
GTA 5.
DBZ.
Final Fantasy 7.
Ratchet and Clank. Do a barrel roll. Barrel roll.
We're here with Josh Wu, a very well-known game developer and professor at HCC, asking him questions about future game developers and developing. Josh, with new consoles coming out this year, what projects is your company doing, and which platforms should game developers and investors consider for marketing and future game developing purposes?
So I guess with my project, we chose to go with PC because it tends to be the most flexible, the most versatile of the available platforms. It tends to be with consoles, you have to jump through a lot of hoops, a lot of company-based mandates, requirements, things like that. And with PC, it's a lot more open. You can just kind of work on what you want to work on, and you can get it done a lot more easily that way. Especially with the tools that are available now, even though they span across multiple consoles. Unity works on pretty much everything, but even then with PC, it just seems like it's always a little bit easier to just kind of get everything done for it without having to worry about a lot of more company-based problems, like having to deal with Sony or having to deal with Microsoft to get your product out there. However, I would say it's more just personal preference. In the end, I really like PCs just because they tend to be able to do a lot of things. But consoles are great too. There's plenty of people out there who really like consoles, who obviously just go buy new consoles when they come out. It's a great piece of hardware to have because they're able to do a lot of stuff. They're pretty much set up to do everything you need them to do. And in some way, you can reach an audience much easier with the console than with the PC, and it's getting easier and easier in that regard also. So, especially with Steambox and all that stuff on the horizon.
Josh, and what are your thoughts of Steam coming to home consoles?
I think it's great that they're trying to do their own console now. That they're trying to basically bring PC gaming to more of a TV gaming audience. But I don't particularly think it's going to change too much in the industry. It's just kind of opening up a lot of options that have, that are already there, and just kind of making it easier for a lot of the options that people wanted to have, but didn't in the past.
Josh, what is the main thing that a new designer needs to know before making a decision about going into gaming?
The main thing I would say about being designers, especially after having taught here for the last 5-6 semesters, is really just that I've seen so many students come through that don't really know what they're getting into. I'd say it's like any other job. Ideally you want to find a job that you really care about, that you're really passionate about, and game design is kind of the same thing. If you like playing games, it's not really the same thing as actually being a game developer. And if you get into it, you should do it because you really love it, because it's a huge time investment. There's a lot of stuff you have to worry about, a lot of work you have to put in. It's a very, very competitive market, and you really have to be better than everyone else out there.
Okay, what else?
Go into it knowing that you love it. Like, be a game developer only if you really, want to eat and breathe and drink and live like game development. Because unless you do that, you won't be able to really succeed in the industry.
Now, if there's one thing that you know now that you wish you knew back then, what would it be?
Just plenty of design stuff I've kind of just figured out along the way. Like I've always said in class and to students and all that, game design itself is a really expansive field, and it's one that very, very little is known about, I guess.
And what is the main concept about game design a new developer should consider?
I guess again, like the main thing is just that game design really is a really, really expansive field. I mean, design in general is, and game design is one that, as I've always told my students in my classes, is something that hasn't really been studied in full. There's not really a lot of schools out there that really focus on, for example, academic study of games and game design. It's all more based on the actual production side of things. Just kind of getting the labor out of the way. So it's how to make art, how to use all the tools to make art assets, getting the programming done so the game works properly, fixing bugs, things like that. And there's very little actually put into understanding why games are good, what people want out of them, how to make them better, what makes great games, great, and how to make them better than that, and how to make basically a good, basically how to design a good experience for players. And I feel like just working in the industry, the last, almost a decade now, I've learned a lot about that just through a lot of trial and error.
One last question, Josh. Xbox or PS4?
The PC.
And there you have it, folks. Straight from the Woo. He says study hard and work hard and commitment. They say if you love what you do, then you never have to work a day in your life. Thank you, Josh Woo. This is Game On.